Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a rough one for y'all. I'm sorry, but this is where we have to get the reality and truth and facts out for everybody so that we can find ways to stop this type of evil shit and really show the actual true dark side of the whole drag situation and all that. So, without further ado, let's get right into this and see exactly what is going to go happen here. Pennsylvania drag queen charged over 25 times for perverted acts with kids. A drag queen in Pennsylvania faces over 40 criminal charges, including 25 felony child pornography charges, following the conclusion of a 2-year investigation. According to the Post Millennial, Brice Patric Ryschon Williams allegedly uploaded and shared at least 135 videos on photos of child pornography. In May 2020, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children submitted a tip about sexually explicit files, including minors, to the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General's Child Predator section. The files were allegedly uploaded to a Dropbox with an email registered to Anastasia Diamond and Anna D. This is the name Williams used when performing drag. At least 49 of the 76 files were found to contain children under 18 performing sexual acts, Tri-State Alert reported. In July 2020, NCMEC submitted another tip about 10 or more explicit files uploaded by the same user. Authorities determined at least 9 of those files contained child pornography. A search warrant was eventually issued at Dropbox concerning Anna D's account, and authorities found a total of 135 files containing child pornography, Tri-State Alert reported. 2 or more files were uploaded to the Dropbox in December 2020, and authorities were able to validate one of them. Investigators finally tracked the home suspected of uploading the illegal files in 2021. Investigators confirmed Williams was living in the home, and he was allegedly performing in the drag as Anastasia Diamond, which matched the name associated with the Anna D email address. A recovery email address for the Anna D Dropbox account also included Williams' real name. Special Agent Travis Nye was finally able to obtain a search warrant for the home on June 2022. June 22. Jesus, what's wrong with me? Authorities carried out the warrant the next day and escorted Williams out of the house while they did so. Williams initially denied any involvement with child pornography, as they always do. Even as investigators found his phone number matched the backup phone number listed on the Anna D Dropbox. Investigators found at least 25 child pornography files on Williams' phone. While Nye said it was just a small sample of the explicit material on the phone, Williams finally admitted to searching for possessing and sharing child pornography after his devices were found. He told investigators he was first exposed to child pornography in 2014, and he subsequently began using cloud storage applications to receive and distribute it with others. He was arrested and taken Franklin County Corrections. While Williams was initially unable to post a $100,000 bail, the Triad Act said in a subsequent article he had posted bail on June 24th. His preliminary hearing is set for July 5th. Even so, local attorney Clint Barkdale said the outlook is still bleak for Williams. On the legal side, this person is in big trouble, Barkdale said. These are very difficult cases to defend. I've had some over the years, and typically the evidence is extensive forensics trail tying the defendant to these activities. The other thing here is I would not be surprised if you see more charges brought. Oftentimes, when these cases make their way into the system, it's discovered through the forensic investigation that were more files or there was more activity than was originally reported. Good. I want all child grabbers to be immediately arrested and honestly maybe executed in Minecraft, because honestly these people are sick. They're demented and need to be put down. Honestly, in my personal opinion, but in Minecraft. I don't have any sympathy for these people at all, so I really don't care what happens to this person, honestly. Since William faces 25 Class 2 felony charges, Tri-State Alert said conviction would bring substantial prison time into the state facility. Even goes on to say, Williams also faces 18 criminal counts for use of communications for the facility, according to the Post Millennial. While not all drag queens are distributing child pornography online, this investigation is a perfect example of the dangerous drag shows present for children. In an interview with the Western Journal, clinical sexologist Dr. Ingrid Thrall said drag shows are inherently sexual and therefore might not be appropriate for children. It's not just a man dressing as a woman, Thrall said. It's a man dressing as a sexual, very sexualized woman, so in that sense, it kind of objectifies women, and it is sexual in nature. I doubt that any parents would take a young child to a strip club, so I'm not at all opposed to the drag per se. But I'm worried that the type of sexually explicit material for such a young child can change the trajectory of the child's perception of their own sexuality. Drag shows are not an appropriate place for children to be, and Williams' arrest is an extreme example of the danger they can present. Even if not all drag queens are as evil as Williams, they are all performing inherently sexual shows. Children should never be, for any reason, be exposed to that content. So, let me address my very strong opinions on this and why I think all these things that are happening is a big deal. Okay. So that being said, with this whole drag show and crap and all this is why I personally think any parent taking their child to a drag show or anything of that nature should be immediately have their children taken away from them and put into another place, because this is not good psychologically for the child at all, period. That's my strong whole beliefs. You guys can fight me and yell at me all you want, but I do not believe that this should ever be a thing at all. These pride people want to say it's all for love and whatever, but when you get down to the bare minimum, what are they doing? If they're dressing this sexually, this messed up type of shit that I wouldn't even want me as a person going to, honestly, let alone kids. So if we're going to have kids be exploited and used in this way, it's absolutely disgusting. And anybody that is actively agreeing with this type of shit or wanting this to happen is sick fucks. And honestly, I think they're also child predators as well. Because honestly, you want children to be sexually exploited to this type of deal, and this is the type of stuff that's happening. If you look at any type of drag show, everything is sexual. All those things that are happening in these drag places that have been popping up have been very sexual in nature, and this is really bad for children because this messes them up psychologically. As I've shown before, is that these kids, when they're exploited, shown this type of stuff or exploited into anti-sexual acts, they will try to implement these type of things implement these things because they absorb things like a sponge. It really messes them up, and this is not good for children. And I don't like this type of stuff happening. I do not like the fact that this type of thing is trying to be pushed on to people as okay. It's not okay. It's never okay. And it's just so fucking sickening, dude. Like, I don't understand why you would want children to do this. Why you would allow things for this to even come remotely into the possibility realm of like children just being exploited like this. It's so sickening, man. It's so sickening. And of course, people want to go out. Of course, the far left want to just try to vilify people for not wanting their kids to be in this way. Where normal people are saying that, like, we don't want our kids to be exploited. Don't want our kids to be indoctrinated in this type of stuff. Yeah, it's like you do realize like there are laws that prevent kids from being exploited in such ways that's not including the drag shows. So this same thing would apply here. The outright attack on children is, as of recently, is really, really, really sickening, and I can't imagine onto why this is being pushed, other than people just being completely evil and sick. Like, that's my only imagination. So, what are ways that I think that we should be able to combat this? Well, one way I think we should be able to combat this is put strict laws onto drag shows in general, that would, that, like I said, if any parent takes their kid to a drag show, they should immediately have their kids taken away from them because, well, they know where they're going to if they're going to a drag show, alright? So that's the first thing. 2, have every I don't even know if I would want to actually do this. Maybe this is going too far, but maybe have every person at the drag show actually investigated, because they're just allowing kids to come over there, and that's just disturbing to me in every sense of the word. And keep on hammering on all these LGBTQ stuff really hard on puberty blockers and all that stuff, and all these other big things become what Finland and the UK are in this aspect, because they have really really done their work with saying that it doesn't have any benefits. And that's one of the few things that I could probably think of that is that we could really hamper down and really fight back and get this type of stuff. I'm so tired of children being used and exploited in this way, and it's so sickening, man. It depresses me, and it makes me really disturbed in every sense of the word. I don't like this at all. So I'm going to show one last thing here for you guys so you really get the actual full picture of everything. And I'm not going to say all drag queens are evil or as bad as this person, right? But it just makes me think. So we go here, and then we have, this is for specifically what we have from Andy No, is this stuff right here, right? Drag queen the kids to Pride. This is the first thing for all. And then you have It's Not Gonna Lick Itself, which is all our Pride stuff. This is for kids. This all this stuff is for kids and people like that. And there's that. And then we keep on going down, and then it says, went to that show wearing my I Protect Trans Kids shirt, and even I regret going. Initially, I thought it was fine, but soon I realized how weird the environment was. I was wrong, and I want to say you can support trans kids and be mad at this event. Even this person is going against it. My first instinct was to defend the event because the counter protesters were full of anti-LGBTQ sentiment and had Trump hats. Again, just because they have Trump hats does not mean they're actually bad people. The same thing as I would think like some of the people having certain hats would not be considered bad people. But like for AOC, I think they would be dumb, but I don't think they're necessarily bad people. Also, talk to John Doyle about Vosh V. I regret going. It's just hard to sympathize or agree with a side that rejects my trans identity. And we have that, and then photos of the event even having posted on Google Maps. So we'll go to Google Maps here, and these are all the pictures that's going on here, right? These are all the stuff that's going on. That's the type of deal. This is sexual, okay? This is sexual. I don't really care about that. Stuff like this going on here. This is going on here. This here. So this is not sexual, right? This is not sexual in nature, right? At all. This is just not sexual in nature. At all. So I don't really care about this. Okay, and then we also have like, stuff like this as well. So and again, this is all incredibly sickening, and this is all the stuff that's happening and all this garbage. We see this stuff happening in droves, and it's just what we see with a lot of sick shit. And you can't come to me and tell me this is okay for children when all this stuff is just absolutely horrible. I can't fathom onto why people would want to endorse this garbage. I know I'm kind of being like redundant, but it's just it makes me vividly angry, but also just so disgusted at the same time that I don't know why we would even allow this at all. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, And let's try to get rid of this shit, please. My God.